what is the atmosphere over at Todak? Well, I guess when we look at the draft, perhaps we'll get a better idea. Yi, Valentina banned by AP.Bren, Fanny and Kaja banned by Todak.
I think this also hints that Todak may want to go back into a bit of a joy, but AP.Bren, are they going to lead that joy over? Because don't forget, there's also this RL threat that's looming around. It was forgotten by both these two teams, mind you, but now Todak decide to ban away that link, once again given a lot of respect over the side of Kaltizi.
That could open up, another Novara pick for AP.Bren, right? Because unless Todak first picks it, but it doesn't feel like Todak is going to go for it. In fact, with a Kadita ban out, which was Todak's first ban in Game 1, what is the option? Do you fall back to the Fredrin? Do you play kind of like the stable pick?
Yeah, I think Todak is better off going back to meta, going back to comfort, right? First pick Fredrin is quite strong because don't forget you can always flex it to EXP lane. We will also start to see a bit of flex picks coming into the side of Paquito. However, there's also this Uranus that I think, once again, like RSGSG against RSGPH, Todak doesn't really have an answer against this Uranus, right? Unless they secure a carry in their first pick. But it's a little bit of a waste securing that carry as the first pick instead.
I think I go for the Paquito opener. We've seen this a couple of times. It's not really the best flex, but it is there. You can still kind of put, switch him around here and there. Doesn't really tell too much to AP.Bren, but we've seen how if you put the Paquito in the XP lane, for example, he is easily bullied out by a Uranus +1, right? Even a Uranus alone can stop this Paquito from being effective. But in the jungle, now you are relying on him to find those opportunities himself, which is not going to be easy if there's something like a Martis on the other end.
Martis good. Second skill, like what you said, it interrupts the combo, right? So definitely AP.Bren can look to pick up the Martis once again, but let's take a look at what's on the table. Like there's also skill to Arla, there's also skill to Novara that they can bring up. I mean, it's not banned away, so might as well just pick it up once again since Todak doesn't really have tools to deal with it. Once again, they took away the link and defending themselves unless Todak goes for the land slot. Maybe that's something that he could use to just ignore the front line, dive all the way, find the Novara and just assassinate her before she just lands down the snipe.
Hayabusa? Is that a hero that can be taken into consideration?
I don't think Hayabusa is really good. Yeah, I feel like, after the recent update, Hayabusa or Lethal Ignition does work, but I feel like the range of the Hayabusa is actually still kind of limited unless you're coming for the flank, right? But now, they've already secured a Paquito in the first phase drop, right? They want to make sure that they don't review this one, right? Super obvious. Maybe it could be effective in the XP lane, it could be effective in the jungle. They don't want to show it yet. So instead, I don't think it's wise to pick the Hayabusa here. So instead, they go for the mage. There's a firearm is going to be selected and also a carry like what I was talking about. And this time around, this carry will be fighting up against a Frederick.
Absolutely.
Come on, Dexter.
Kind of like what they took out in the previous game. Claude will be the selection for the side of AP.Bren. Is there a universe where AP.Bren were like, you know what, we're going to put this Novara into Rome, we're going to take out the Farsa and just absolutely destroy this Farmers?
Yeah, there is. Blacklist has done it before, right? Like, I remember this is one time where Blacklist, I think it was the Yve, and then there was a Novara. And then when the Novara starts slapping and start farming even faster, you see the Yve relegated himself into this rope position, right? And then just start putting all the gold into Novara, getting her to scale even faster, right? So this could also be potentially the possibility. And now the Claude coming in, very juicy. But unfortunately, AP.Bren was the one that removed the Yve on their own. But don't forget, there's also still the potential Farsa that's really good against Faramis. I think it's up to Todak right now to just start cutting down on the mage roster, but then again, they're still looking at the two.
I suppose when you have to carry in the roster, it does slightly discourage the Uranus being picked up by AP.Bren. I don't think they care about this too much, perhaps. They still have the flex capabilities, right? You can even say that they have two heroes that they can flex, both the Frederick and the Novaria. Front banned out by Todak. It does indicate that perhaps the Assassin Jungler could still be a possibility. But looking at the opening 3 picks, it kind of feels like you're alluding to this Paquito being in the jungler, because no way you're picking an Assassin Jungler in this lineup, right?
You definitely need someone to frontline, right? Something to tank for, so that when the card auto pops, there is some form of, defense, some form of this frontline just couldn't die. So that's what I think Todak wants to do. But looking at how going to this last ban, since they already started banning more tanks, they may be looking to remove even more tanks. I want to mention Atlas, right? Because Atlas looks really juicy, especially when the Faramis called Auto coming in. Atlas could just come in with the Fatal Links and just whip everybody up. So maybe Toda may be afraid of that one as well. Or maybe ban away the Minotaur because it's an AoE stun. Faramis is also putting everybody together at the same time. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, what does this tell us?
It's a free Atlas over for AP.Bren.
Has to be, right?
They self-ban again. Todak self-ban once again. They ban away the Ling, they ban away the Fanny, allowing Novara to have priority.
Minotaur.
And now banning away the Ziggy. This opens up, and okay, even if you don't go for the Atlas, that's a Minotaur, right? So now, this Minotaur is even safer, right? It's a safer pick, right? They don't really care about any knockups. There's no time journey for Todak to also go for anyways.
I mean, it doesn't really at this point any of the tanks that really don't want Diggy to be on the enemy team, they can do what they want freely, right? We see the Florian and the Akai being the final two picks. So this is gonna be a Paquito XP lane, a Faramis Mage, and Akai jungle. Alright, so we have a tank shredder, right? That is settled. Carry is gonna do the work. Akai is gonna be in the midst of things, heavy spin, separating the battle line. But how are you even going to get into the battle lines of AP.Bren? Now they have a Joy. And what's the solution? Right? I'm scratching my head. I'm trying to find a way for Todak to take fights effectively.
I think how Todak is doing is like, I know it's kind of awkward to say that, hey, use Akai as a pick comp, right? But yeah, Akai right here, the only thing that he can do is just basically pick and separate and isolate one person at a time, maybe fight front to back. Use the Akai, isolate the Minotaur, pin him down to the wall, use the carry to shred, and then try to fight front to back. But then again, you see how AP.Bren is just drafting, right? It's just crazy. They go for the Joy, they can just dive in the back line. You try to, huddle together and absorb and use and benefit from the Cow Altar. All of a sudden, the AoE is just gonna stun lock you right there, because when you die in the Cow Altar, you technically get stunned. And so it all relies on how Florian actually times the ultimate, and also how the Faramis time his ult.
Thumbs up from the side of AP.Bren. They are ready to rock and roll. And I think a lot of this game is going to rest on the shoulders of the carry, right? If carry can't get it done, Todak just basically burns out in the series.
Yeah, like I like the fact that you use the word burn out, because Xborg, that literally wasn't a good idea. I think even down to the talents, right, that he used. But anyways, ladies and gents, this time around a little bit more familiar coming out from Todak, but of course with the Florian, this is the new flavor. This is a new Estes in the house right here. Hopefully, being able to put them to great use so that they don't go down without a fight.
We see Cow TZ in the jungle with the jungle Joy. That has happened a couple of times. I mean, Joy mid as well. Good to see that this TDK has a lot more of that flexibility, but level 4, I think that's what I want to look at. 2 minutes in, we're going to have level 4 on these heroes. Both teams having big team fight ultimates. How are they going to take a fight at the objective?
I think it's just about looking at the priority. I feel that Todak this time around might have total priority as compared to AP.Bren, right? Yeah, because you have a Novara that cannot really successfully join the fight in the level 4 period of time, does need more time to scale. But speaking about scaling super macro, to do a lot of damage against Genos, this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the other way around, right? You're always looking at a carry to win that early matchup, but Super Marco here it is. Hey, winning out in terms of health. I mean, look at the core emblems that they took. It's actually the same thing, but the training patterns of Super Marco just kind of one-upping the carry right now. So Genos not having the shot that he wants, and that kind of feels like a minor bad news, but I guess, silver lining, Malik was able to just swipe that gold crab away from Cow TZ.
Alright, you know why they win up? If you take a look at how Super Marco builds his claw, that's a common emblem. So mana for days, you also got tenacity, so that's why he can outfight against Genos, especially when he went for Weapon Master instead, right? So there's not enough items for him to justify actually getting benefiting from that particular emblem. So that's why AP.Bren, you know, this choice, this small little decision that Super Marco decides to go for, he's able to trade more efficiently as compared to Genos.
See the Astro Echo very early on from the top side. Malik, and he's been used as well, pinning 3 of AP.Bren's members away, but he still needs to take the turtle, and he will be able to do it with a very good red tree. Formase stopping the rest of AP.Bren from showing up, and Todak walks away with the objective.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, right? Todak has a better turtle fight, right? Because of the heavy spin, it makes it a lot easier as compared to AP.Bren, especially when Kaltizi this time around is a joy, not a Fredrin, right? So he needs to look out for his HP bars. If not, he's going to get busted down right there, right now, right? But speaking about busting down, that Super Marco, ooh, super low.
Yeah, Maltese is running to Purify, no flicker, so Super Marco is very safe about that, but had to pop a sprint. So another a minute and a half without that battle spell. Good news is it's a claw, so he's not going to be bothered about it too much. Kaltizi caught in the Todak jungle. It's one of the slowest starts to both games. I mean, Todak keeping AP.Bren under control.
Yeah, first turtle at the very least still goes over to the side of Todak, right? If you notice, FlatTZ is actually pushing against Formase up top. It's still basically because Formase right here, unless he can successfully kill the Fredrin, and he needs to constantly lay down the punches. If not, the Fredrin is going to heal with the help of the Brace Might at the same time, right? So if you notice how Todak is rotating, they're not going to look at the Fredrin, they're looking at getting Genos to scale instead.
And pulling Super Marco away, but Blazing the Wedge is going to instantly wipe the entire wave. Super Marco doing just keeping himself safe, and just very impressive work from his claw, right? Normally you don't expect him to do it, at least in the early game, but he's able to hold his ground. Malik trying to walk into the jungle, instantly getting stunned up. Still has the heavy spin, not using just yet. The electrifying big beat by Kaltizi. Malik steals the purple buff away. The Gaforko open, knockout on the 2 of members of Todak. How also used as well. He's gonna expire onto Malik, who gets stunned, but good body block from Arteezy.
Good body block from Marquise, and also not only just that, good save coming out from the Cow Altar as well. And apart from that, Hazelnut is still keeping on to the ultimate. As a Florian, if I played if I would have Florian, I may actually have a Trigger Finger on that Florian, but look how easy, ooh, off HP. Yeah,
Base's app just straight up invades the jungle. Just want to keep AP.Bren under pressure, something that Todak was not able to do in game 1. Now they're making life a bit more complicated for AP.Bren. They're making AP.Bren fight for it. The turtle will be uncontested and Todak will walk away.
Yeah, this is exactly what Todak absolutely needs, right? The snipe does land down, wasn't able to do so. Malik still secures the turtle. And not only just that, because of that the one creep steal, it also helps Malik to be ahead in terms of level as compared to Kaltizi. Kaltizi knows about it, decides to play a little bit more passive, needs more time, but in time is definitely on the side of AP.Bren's hands because Super Marco is definitely silently scaling up. Todak needs to limit that clock right here, right now. You can see Awkward and the rest of the Todak members trying to pincer onto Super Marco.
Trying to take his turret down as fast as possible, and the heavy spin will be committed to make the endeavor happen. So very well done from Todak. Calm and composed. AP.Bren now have lost that bot tier 1. It's gonna put Super Marco out in the open.
Yeah, 5 minutes in. Turtles down, no one actually died yet, so this is a very good game for the side of Todak. However, like I said, Todak is fighting for time. They need to quickly take down as much turrets as possible, try to limit Super Marco's farm, but there you go, that's a place to do it. Genos, ooh!
The bloom right on time from Hazelnut could have been disastrous, as Formase does take away the top tier 1 FlatTZ. Massive damage, pull right back. Formase looking for a finisher if he can, but FlatTZ dashes to safety.
Yeah, this is exactly a different Todak this time around as compared to game number 1 Todak, right? Todak, game number 1 was, you know, just testing the waters just a little bit, but this time around, AP.Bren, they're playing, their movements a little bit different. You expected Kaltizi to start hard invading Todak, but Todak is the one that started to do that. Look at Formase, look at where he is, just making sure that Formase doesn't get any farm at all. This is reminiscent over to RSG when, you know, Bray started to go for that jungle, and I think Todak is just abusing that fact.
I think on top of that, you also have Formase. First of all, Paquito running sprint, has the Brace Might, and at the same time, right, you say they are ignoring Fredrin, but
yeah,
Formase is not going to be too bothered. He is, you know, he has the XP advantage over this Fredrin. He's now 2 levels ahead of FlatTZ already. So it doesn't really matter too much if, you know, the Fredrin doesn't go down. He already took down both side lanes, tier 1s are already down. Turtle has just spawned and Todak might look to contest.
Yeah, this is a very slow AP.Bren this time around. They respected Malik's presence right here with the fact of the heavy spin, but now this could be the potential third turtle that Todak wants to take.
Formation to the backfield, instantly drop low. They need to get the Paquito out of the way, but he has to sprint. He's gonna get away. Good call, Alter, protecting 4 members of Todak. Heavy's been committed as well, but it's gonna be Kauteezy. There's retributions on the turtle. Bloom even used, and now Blazing Duet on the side of Super Marco for the first blood. Malik in a rough spot, tries to take down Owen. Field sniping the members of Todak from behind, and Super Marco is just free hitting everyone for a double kill. 4 mace drops. It's gonna be Flapteezy for the third, and AP.Bren just won this. Marteezy sliced them. The Astro recall, but not Super Marco. Triple for the claw.
Man, Asuke, do you not see it? How Todak just hard committed into everything just to try to take away the turtle. AP.Bren noticed this, noted that the count altar is already burned away, and you see how AP.Bren just take a step back. Here you go, that's instant replay. You can see the rest of AP.Bren respects the damage and respects the sustain, just decides to disengage just a little bit. Look at how Super Marco is playing this, right? Timing that Blazing Duet just in the nick of time at the same time. And on the other side of the wall, he's safe from formings and doesn't already burn out all his spells to jump on the wall, and he knows Hazelnut doesn't do damage, so impeccable position coming up from Super Marco. AP.Bren respecting what Todak can do. They take away, I think that was 4 members in the nutshell, and then take away the turtle from Todak, and they also took up top.
At the same time, like, Genos got deleted at the start, right? We talked about this. If Genos isn't in the fight, I don't think Todak is gonna have enough damage. 4 mace surely can one-shot someone, but afterwards they have nothing. They need the carry.
Yeah, well, you can count the damage from the Ghost Bursts, but Malik looking for the pickup right here. Flapteezy this time around, getting pushed away. Awkward jumping in.
Big knock again into Super Marco, and they follow up Awkward with the setup. Super Marco just having a field day right now. This is a bazaar for the squad.
Yeah.
EMI over the wall, Hazelnut in danger. Super Marco on a mega kill streak, and no one can stop it.
No one can stop it. He's absolutely massive right now. All of a sudden, I was telling you about it. AP.Bren, you're a little bit slow and steady. They know they lost the early game priority, but all of a sudden they realize that hey, they start to have the fight. They start to have the damage as well. Start to bite back against Todak. Like I said, Todak is on this time bomb, and now the bomb has exploded. They are unable to defuse it in the nick of time because Super Marco is already unleashed against Todak.
In one fell swoop, AP.Bren in the driver's seat. Lord secured as well. This mid-tier one will not stand any longer. I mean, Marteezy, the fact that you have a Frederick means that you want to stay in the fight. Clumped up, Super Marco finds both of the support. Gives the slice out for the Faramis, but it's a trade he's willing to go for to pat that ego a little bit.
Yeah, not only just that, right? You take down the Faramis, but also you crack open the mid, so that's A-okay for the marksman. Awkward this time around gets caught by Malik. Genos needs to try to hit, but he's not hitting anything. Kauteezy just zones him away, leaving Malik out of position right here.
You have the electrifying beams against by Kauteezy. Malik just putting his body in front. The snipes from Field from afar, 0-0 and 5 on this Novaria. Start escorting this floor on top lane, and all the waves are gonna get synced up.
Yeah, and even though 2 turtles went over the side of Todak, and don't forget, I was talking about this, Malik taking away the jungle creep from Kauteezy should put Malik in a dominant level lead. Look at how Kauteezy right now, he's already level 14, as compared to Malik, he's only level 12.
And that's just off of, kind of one objective fight, right? One big team fight, and suddenly AP.Bren have full control of this game. It really felt like if you're Todak, you are left wondering what the heck happened in the past 2 minutes. Both mid and top tier 2 are going to be down. The bottom one will fall very soon as well. No more outer layer defense for Todak.
Exactly, so much standing goal in the favor of AP.Bren, right? Just farming out all the way out. Even though they had they botched the early game just a little bit, but Todak this time around, they're the one that botched the mid game instead. Flapteezy will absorb some damage, like I said. Just take a look at the damage leaderboard. Super Marco is at the top.
Use the bloom just to keep 4 mains alive as well. It's the degree of damage, the magnitude of damage coming in from Kauteezy out of this world. They did force the flicker from this Fredrin. That is the smallest of silver linings for Todak.
I really don't think silver lining is exactly what Todak needs, right? They got, for the first time in game 1 and 2, they finally got a lead, and now AP.Bren is already knocking on Todak's door. So it's just crazy. You give AP.Bren a small little lead, and they just escalate. They take your wound and they pull it apart, and they're doing it right now at top.
Top inhibitor down, and all while all of this, this was happening, excuse me, Malik, he was trying to find an angle to launch a flank, but I mean, AP.Bren didn't give him the room. Ogwin just stuck onto him, and they ended up forcing his heavy spin out. 25 seconds before the Lord spawns. This could not have been any better for AP.Bren.
Yeah, right now Todak just needs to buy time. Right now there's an open lane up top as well. AP.Bren is just, they've got the vision, they've got the damage, they've got the tankiness, they've got everything that you need, right? AP.Bren, they've also got the goal lead. So it's an uphill battle once again. Todak just let the time bomb explode. They are unable to capitalize on the lead they got, and now Super Michael is super right now.
Look at that, this man runs into Todak, and Todak, they were trying to group up in their own jungle, but they got spotted by the Astral Echo, so this Lord is pretty much done and dusted. AP.Bren, they might have just found the finisher.
Yeah, there's no way that Todak can actually contest this, right? Even though Malik does have the heavy spin already online, they're not going to try to go for it because AP.Bren is so far ahead in this lead, and their positioning and Super Marco is already starting to shred. They don't have the pseudo tankiness. Malik wasn't able to face check or tank. Genos, I don't think is coming online as of yet. He needs more time, but time is definitely what AP.Bren would not possibly give. Look at the items right here. Look at especially how Genos is building it. It's not enough damage. It's not enough attack speed. There's no golden staff as well in the hands of Genos.
Is that a lightning truncheon?
Yes, that's a lightning truncheon.
That is alright. First of its kind, I've not seen it before. I mean, it's by anything that deals damage, I guess. Malik.
Yeah, I really don't think that's the actual item, but hold on a second, that's called on the pop right prematurely. AP.Bren will definitely lick his cut down mouth like that. Lick your lips like that is exactly what they want.
I mean, 4 maze, he's a little off. Oh, it's now Super Marco is right in the center, chases Martini to the fountain, doesn't take him out. EMI's to safety. 4 versus 5 in favor of Todak. I say 4 versus 5, but honestly, it really doesn't matter, does it? Big knockup in front of fountain. AP.Bren closes it out. 14 minutes in a 2-0 over Todak. Light work by AP.Bren.
Yeah, game number 1 was clean by the side of AP.Bren, right? Game number 2, on the other hand, even though they're behind, they know what to do. And this is the marking of a very strong team, man. You remember what I talked to you about, especially the tips given over to the side of Todak, right? You're supposed to have plan A. If plan A does